Guys, I got you an update video on your cruise control problem on this Pontiac. So yesterday I took it to Louisville, Kentucky, went to the pull apart there. Found an 05 Grand Am SE with the Ecotech. Got me a brand new, or new to me cruise box. I put it on there in the parking lot and drove home with it. It was a cold box, so I assumed it would be considered a cold start. Worked on the first try, but we're going to do it for you guys here today. The car's been sitting since last night. We got to do a quick fluids check on it because I always do that when I come back from a trip. And if everything checks out and I don't have to add any fluid to it, we're going to fire this puppy up. We're going to run it down the street. We're going to hit the cruise button and make sure that our cruise box works like it's supposed to. Before we do that though, I'm going to show you how these get installed because there might be a little hiccup for you that you might come across when you do this. So let's get started. I'm going to get this hood up. So on the cruise module, on this car, I don't know if you noticed it in the last video, but we had an issue where our lines were crossed right here on our cable. That's more or less a me thing. I don't like my cables being crossed over each other. I like them to be nice and straight and uniform. So I showed you in the first video how you get the box off the car, okay? You also got to get up in here with a flathead screwdriver and open up this clip, and this cable comes out. This top cable is the one that you need to get out. This bottom cable right here, this one here is your throttle cable, I think. No, this is your transmission shift cable, okay? So don't mess with the bottom cable, all right? I'm missing some push pins in my cowl cover here, or my front fascia bumper cover here. All right, so then this cable here is your throttle. Your throttle cable will always be the one that goes inside this big half moon looking thing here. And then this is your cruise cable. Your cruise cable has a little clip in it. So in order to change this cruise cable out, let me get this hose out of the way so you can see. You take a pick and you push down inside this little hole right here and you slide this little plastic clip back. When you take that clip back, you can grab it with a pair of needle nose pliers, pull this end completely off the pin. Okay, when you do that, you put your clip back in, and then when you push this back on, it snaps back in place. So this here, you take a pair of needle nose and you push in on these two tabs right here and pull back. That gets that out of that bracket. You have a slot on the side, that's for this cable to get through. Then you pull it out of your brace right here. This one was crossed, so I had to straighten this out. I did that at the pull apart. This cable here was on the inside and this cable here was on the outside, and they were crossed over each other. It looked really ugly. Don't like it. So then the outside's where your cruise cable goes, runs all the way along the back wall over here to the side in front of the coolant tank. And then that's a banjo. This is what we call a banjo clamp, or that's what I call it. You just pick this up, pull it back, and then it sits inside of a slot right here. So you're going to pick this back, you're going to slide it back and lift it off. So it looks a lot like this. You're going to slide this back, pick it down, lift it up, okay? There's a notch down in here. Let me see if you can see it. Let me see if you can see that notch real quick. All right. I'm going to kind of point it out to you. There might be a hose in the way, so we're going to move this hose real quick. All right. Pick this hose up. All right, see, there's this notch right here. That fits in the bottom of your cruise box. See how it's shaped down here? So that's going to slide in there, and then it's going to lock inside this groove right here. The other thing you want to look at is on the 2.2 Ecotech, that's the other engine. That's your code, CHG. You want to get that code number. On the V6, because I looked at a Grand Am, they had a 3100 in it, or a 3400. And it said V6 on it. So you do not want that one because that one's specifically programmed for a V6 engine. And it won't work in your application. And that's how you put it back together. Of course, you got your clip over here. You can lift that tab up with your thumb and slide that out. Make sure you put your weather packing back over the plug. so that you don't get dirt and garbage inside your plug area. And that's about it. So while we're here, I'll get you set up over here so you can see what we're doing here. I'll zoom back. We gotta check our coolant level. A lot of times you can take your coolant jug and you can shake it and make sure that your coolant level is up to the top. I don't see any coolant there, so we're gonna open up our lid. We got a little warm yesterday, but I want to make sure that we didn't run out of coolant. And then we'll check our brakes and our power steering fluid. The only fluid I don't check is the transmission, because you got to have that warm. Check it. And we're doing a cold run, so we want to make sure that, you know. Alright, so pop that lid off. And look down in there. And I'm trying to get it to where it'll show up over here. And we are at full cold, because if you put your hand like this and you let the light come in down underneath it, it shows up right about there where the full cold is on it. So our coolant level is fine. Put our cap back on. We need to do something about this hose, because that rubs up against the hood here. We got to do something about that hose. I might find a way to either shorten this hose or route it underneath something. Probably ought to try routing it underneath something or through something or something to get that to where it's not rubbing up against that hood, but that's another day. Alright, since it hasn't been ran, we can go ahead and pull our dipstick and look at our dipstick. Alright, dipstick says we're full, so we'll go ahead and put that back down in there. I'm waiting on the engine light to come on that says change engine oil, because then that way we can do an oil change on this car. Hasn't come on yet, so maybe it'll come on sometime in the week or two, I don't know. Alright, check your power steering fluid. Bottom line is your cold line, and it's right there at the cold line, so we're good on that. Brake fluid, we are about halfway on our brake fluid. Yeah, we're about halfway on our brake fluid, so might have to check our brake pads. I just put brakes on this last year, but it has had a lot of driving on it, so we might have to do brakes on this thing soon. So now we're going to get you set up in the car, and we're going to take it out, and we're going to see if that cruise module works from a cold start. That was the problem we had, was you push the button and nothing happens. And it was either the buttons that were giving us problems or the module that was giving us problems. If it turns out to be the module, then if you guys want to, we could do another video later on of us taking the module apart and looking at the circuit board to see if we have any damaged circuitry. Because that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Alright, so we're going to get you guys shrunk down here. And I'll see you in the car. Okay, as you can see, we're in the car. That's just our CD player making noise. Alright, we are so cold that the car, this is the first start of the day for this car, so let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a little less of the steering wheel and more of the gauges. Let's see, our mileage is at 118,874. Okay, not bad. Our sticker says 119, so hopefully sometime soon we'll get that light come on and we do oil change. Alright, let's take her out. And like I said in the last video, the cruise light is right above the 2 on the tack. That light comes on, that means the cruise is active. If it doesn't come on, that means that we still have another problem to figure out. So let's get the car out on the road. I gotta get this thing turned around here. Now, in order for us to activate the cruise, we got to be above 35 miles an hour. So when we get to 35 mile an hour or 40 mile an hour, whichever sounds like a good number, and we'll go ahead and we'll activate the cruise control. Buttons are off, so we have a completely cold system. So hopefully this works. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way of the camera so that you guys can see the dashboard. Alright. You guys are seeing everything okay there? Yeah, looks like you're good. Looks like we're warming up a little bit. It is like probably 63 degrees right now here, so the car's going to warm up pretty quickly. But the issue wasn't with the car cold, it was with the first start of the day. So we've got the first start of the day right now. So let's get up here at about 35. Alright. Make sure there's nobody in front of us. Alright. I'm waiting on this vehicle up here to make up its mind because now I gotta slow down again. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the cruise control on here in just a minute. I want to get up to the 50 mile an hour part of town here. Alright, so we're going to get her up to about 50 and I'm going to turn the cruise control on. Power is on. Set the button. Cruise light is on the first run of the day. You've seen it come on there right above the 2. We are holding 49 mile an hour. I know you can't see it very well, but cruise control is active on a cold start. So we are successful. I'll even increase and decrease the speed with the buttons. Alright, there's our speed up. Here's our speed down. Fully functional. We have a fully functional cruise control. For the first time in about 9 months. We'll turn our cruise off. I'm going to go ahead and head back to the shop, and I'll see you when we get back to the shop. Alright, we're back at the shop. I want to show you something else too. Got my dome light working. Yeah, this thing here is a pain in the neck to get out. But if you follow the directions that it shows for it, you can get those out really easy. We had one of these break off, so I'm going to have to go get one of those. Actually, 2 of those, because that one's about to fall out. So we're going to have to get 2 of those little reflector things for the front doors. Let's see. So I don't know why that box failed the way it did, because it doesn't make any sense. Because when the box warmed up, it worked. But when it's cold, it didn't work. I got the old box still in the trunk. See, here's the old box right here. So if you want, we can open this up and inspect it on a different video. Because we can take those T10s out and we can pop that off of there and see if we got like a burnt circuit board or something. But we got an extra cable here in case we need one. I don't know if these cables break, if that's a common thing. I don't really know. But we got a box right here that don't work. We got the top part's the module and the bottom part's actually the assembly. So if we needed to, if the other assembly quit working but the box is still good, we could swap it out, because this will fit the other box. So, don't know why it didn't work. We'll have to do a dissection video one of these days. But went to the pull apart yesterday, got a trunk full of stuff. I got a handle for my Focus right here. This is going to be a video all on its own in case you have the droopy handle problem like I did on my Focus. This little monster here is for an upcoming Buick video. This is the PCM. I'll get into it a little bit more in the Buick video, but behind this cover is a circuit chip. It's called a MEMCAL chip. With GM OBD1, you have to change the MEMCAL chip out of the old PCM into the new one because of the calibrations. There are some that they make now where it's plug and play. This one is not one of them. This one said use MEMCAL chip from the old one and the cover from the old one, so you got to use the stuff out of it. So we're going to be doing some OBD1 diagnostics with the Buick in an upcoming video. So if you guys wanted to see the rest of that, we're going to try to finish it up this year. I did it 2 years ago. Was supposed to make a series out of it. The series didn't go very well because I got busy. So that's what that's about. So now I got to do my lights check, which we're not going to film the lights check because that's kind of redundant or monotonous or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to call this cruise control issue solved, and it was solved because of that box. Now, what would happen if the box was not the problem? Let's say I changed out the box with that 05 and it didn't work, okay? Next step would have been the switches in the steering wheel. I would have gone through and either cleaned the switches up or replaced the switches. The fuses were good, so I know we didn't have a short anywhere in the system, because if you had a short in the system, it'd blow the fuse. So it's either the box or the switches, or the wiring between the two. Now this car does not have speed sensor type cruise control. Not that I'm aware of anyway. If it does, then it would have acted up when the hub bearings failed, and it didn't. That's why I'm saying that it didn't have that type of cruise. So other than that, I think that's it, and this issue's solved. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something out of this. If you got any comments or questions or concerns, before we go though, I can show you this end here. See that little plastic clip right there? You got to take that out. Down here was I'll show you how these come out, because that makes this a lot easier to get off the car when you can pop that little clip out. So let me show you how this clip comes out. You take your pick, you push it down inside there like that, and as soon as your pick clears, you can go to the other side. You pull back on this little clip right here. See how it's opening up a gap? Push this back like that. Then you take your needle nose like this. And you take your needle nose. Are you still in the frame? Yep, you're still in the frame. Preferably your needle nose are in better shape than mine are. And you can grab it from the side and pull it up, or another way you can do it is, since there's that space right there, put your pick in there, pull back on it, and that's what the clip looks like right there. That's your clip. And then when you get ready to put it back on the car, you can put the clip back in and then push it on like I did, or you can put the clip on after. So to put the clip back on, you just take it and you just push it down like this, like that, locks into place, and you're good to go. So that's how you get that clip out, in case you're wondering, because I know there's going to be somebody in the comments going, I can't get my cruise control line off. How do I get the line off? That's how you do it. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.